Yeah, what were you saying?
I was saying, what the hell we need to talk about? There's these things that
Things? I don't. You're imagining things. What are you talking about? There's nothing wrong here. That's a weather balloon.
Oh, weather balloons.
Yeah.
Weather balloons. We're going to talk about weather balloons.
And these motherfuckers.
Wait.
And everything else in between that has to do with people, places, music, emotion.
Mostly emotion.
Mostly emotion. Near Misses, a new offshoot of the Deep family and brand, where we're going to go, outer fucking realm, fringe, fucking.
There are no limits.
There are no limits.
Deep.
It's an expanding universe, and we're going to shine a little light on that expansion.
We might even expand it.
And we might even have special guest visits from
weather balloons?
Yeah, nothing to see here. But Near Misses, check it out. Willie and LJ, it's fun. It's informative. It's stupid.
You need it? No, it's fucking great. You need it in your life. Well, maybe it's a little stupid.
Please drop by and see us at Near Misses.
Come on now. Deep.
Nanu.
Bitches.
All right. Deep inside the music, Willie Bell's cool ass interview today.
Yeah.
Cool ass motherfucker today. Billy Summer, Tampa, Florida. Fucking juggernaut, mainstay, household name if you're from around here, these parts.
I hate that guy.
Yeah, see, you
heard
get it. You get it all. We're gonna, man, welcome Billy Summer to the show.
Thank you for having me. Hey, I just wanted to give you this.
How you
I brought
doing?
this for you today, and I thought you'd really like it.
Are you? Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll fuck with that. I'll make a record with that.
Yeah. It's gonna make a great record.
Speaking of making great records, I've known you a long time, but and 37 years.
Wow, I was like 3 years old.
Bam, bam, bam. I hit you with the numbers too. But yeah, making great records is something you've been chasing and going after since the day I, met you. So that's been a long time. And there was you before me when I met you. So that must have been going on then too. What's the first record recording? The first music to source you can recall?
I just remember this. I had a 4-track.
Oh.
But I never figured out how to use it. So I never recorded anything. Okay, the first thing they recorded, did I record or did I record it on?
The first playback of something you created that you can recall.
It was bad. And it's Ryan Danger, who runs Sound at Skippers and some other stuff, came over to my house when I had my first band when I was 15. It was me and Jim Stevens and Mike Glorioso and Christian Rapole, I think.
Way.
I'm not sure if that's true. Could have been the band after that. But anyways, we recorded at my mom's house in Temple Terrace. He brought all this gear in, and that was it. And it wasn't.
So what is he recording on, like tape?
I don't remember, man. Maybe like a portable thing,
something from the high school had that's huge.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't. It really wasn't a real thing. It was just like when I was coming up in bands, we never thought about recording.
Yeah.
We never thought about doing anything but partying and playing, and that's all we did. I can't remember any of us ever going, we should make a recording or go into the studio or do anything like mindful like that. We just wanted to play with like all the bands that were in the clubs in Tampa, like in Tyson Rock's gang. And so we would just aim to do that and party.
And you were attending these shows probably.
Did you have the X's on your hands?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You were getting into these clubs. You were seeing these bands.
For sure. I don't know how we got in there, but we started playing at the Sunset Club in Tampa when I was probably 15. And once we could play in there, then we could get in there. The place was a dive. But a lot of the metal bands played there that I came up listening to, like Nasty Savage, Death, Massacre, Brutality.
Fucking ripping scene.
Morbid Angel, but Nasty Savage was our favorite. And so
Deicide.
they were scary. I didn't know them, but I was in with the metal scene early in my coming up, like 12, 13, 14. And then there was a point where I wanted to get away from that because there just weren't any girls there. I was 14, 15.
There wasn't
I was
much
like,
action
it's cool.
there.
Man, it was just too aggressive. The whole thing was nuts. But then there was that other scene around town that was older than I was, which was like Rock's Gang and Entice and Sweet 16 and whatever those bands were.
London Victory Club.
Yeah, I never could get in there. But anyway, we could get into anywhere we played. So we played Sunset. That was horrible, but at least we had a bar, which was also, you know, they would serve us. We were kids.
Yeah.
But then we played Club 19. They would try to corral us off into a little area, but, you know, that was fine too. And then the Rocket Club, we could play there, and ML Chasers. Just like stuff. Yeah, I guess they just let us in.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was a great way to get into a bar when you were underage, would be to play there first. And then you just seem to, you're just fluid. They're just like this motherfucker. Yeah. You're just in.
Yeah, I think, okay, same, around that time, we used to play the Volley Club all the time when I was like 16, 17. And that was like where we went to get loose too. And for some reason, I got a fake ID made after I'd already been able to get in there. But, you know, occasionally there'd be like a new bartender or something. Yeah. And it was so bad. I got it done in like high school. I guess I was still. No, of course not. But they took it. They literally took it and then served me the drink. They just were like, no, we have to keep that. But
there you go.
A fair trade.
Yeah. That's not bad. Tampa was a really rock and roll place though back then. And like it felt like there was a lot of that happening, and being young and getting to experience that. Lefty and Juliet and Sabotage. Man. Sabotage was my favorite band.
Thumping shows. Just that's I remember it well. Just the fucking power.
Right. Yeah. And when somebody was making it out, it was like magic, because in Florida, you felt so removed from the rest of the world, and no internet, there's anything. You're just reading magazines going, wow, look at that, what they're doing, you know? Hit Parader and Circus and all that. I would get that when I was a kid. And
you guys are
you just made a great point, because it was traditionally, probably still is, expensive to tour to Florida and come back up.
Yeah, everybody did that.
So
no one ever came
he's right. We were on this fucking isolated peninsula, and it would make sense that it was kind of organically self-created a music scene that reflected, you know, the magazines and shit. You could see there were, like you said, there were 5, 6, 7 fucking of this bands.
Yeah, man, I did not have that when I was coming up. So you guys lucky in that fact that you could just go out and see that style of band, that fucking, you know, that level of band. Oh, man. I would have to go and see like some bar band that's like playing Benny and the Jets, you know.
Oh man, that's rough.
Like I didn't grow up with any of that cool.
That's St. Pete today.
Right.
Except even worse.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'll tell you the earliest thing I remember. I had a fake Randy Rhoads V. And the only time I ever wanted to go to Home Depot, I went to Home Depot or their equivalent back then, and my dad bought me these mirrored squares. And I came home and I put them against the wall opposite my bed, and I spent the next year just standing on my bed, learning how to stand rock and roll style with this V, listening to Scorpions, Sabotage, and Ozzy and Van Halen and Rat and whatever.
Dude, that's fucked. I did that too, but
that must be why your stance is so hot.
No, wait a minute, hold on. You guys have to.
I didn't have to go get the mirrors. My sisters had these tall fucking lean against the wall ones, and they gave me. I could see. They gave me 2 good fucking angles. I'm like, oh, this is my.
Two camera angles.
It was a 2 cameras shooting my little fantasy mind.
I just had the full wall.
I did that. Damn, I wouldn't have told anyone that in an interview.
Oh, man.
But that's why I have to say I did it.
I still do it anytime I can. I would rather watch myself play than anybody else. Man, I'm my favorite.
Is that where you developed the specific Billy Summer stance? And you know the one I'm talking
about. The dip, the down, no, that's because I was trying to avoid the horns and the Black Honkeys.
I believe that. And
sometimes I wouldn't even be able to tell if my Fender Super Reverb, which was on 10, was even on.
Right.
So I had to dip down to get out of the line of fire.
I get you.
The coolest thing, though, was that in that time in Tampa, Sabotage was my favorite band, and they were local.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. I wasn't longing to see some bands. And I would see them at Rocky Point or places, all ages places, Busch Gardens. They used to have these Busch bashes where they would have local bands, and then
and all the local bands were nasty and hard as fuck.
Like
so
that.
that's what they were doing. They were like, then everybody wants to see
What
this
year
shit.
is this about? Are you talking like 89, 88?
No, 84,
Oh,
85, 86.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool.
But you're right. I didn't start playing until like 87 because I was young. But yeah, we played here at that point. We were writing songs, and we're writing good songs. And we had a great singer. It was me and Jim Stevens, Jeff Efaw, who is passed recently, and Rob Diaz, who I don't know what happened to Rob Diaz, but we were ripping it up, and we're just playing all over town with all these bands. But we never even really strategically thought about doing anything other than being kids and partying.
Yeah.
Which we did.
Okay, so we're kids and we're partying and we're playing, and then the 90s kind of creep up.
I had to leave town, man. I was out of control. I was getting hot, and I had to split towns. Went to rehab when I was like 17, and was there for a long time. And then I came back, and I was playing at the volley club, and these guys came in, and they looked really cool, and they had all really, great looking females with them, and they were dressed up and stuff, and it was like jam night, and I was probably just out of it and playing who knows what, right? Anyway, they approached me and they were like, hey, we have this band, we're pretty close to getting a record deal and all this stuff. This is like 1989. So like, that was how it was.
Right.
You either were or you weren't, but nobody was like in between in it.
Yeah.
And they looked the part. They're like, I lived down in Fort Myers, and I had never been to Fort Myers, but I was 18, and they told me that they wanted me to come down. And so I remember I had already quit high school one time to play or whatever. And then I went back, and then I was going to quit again because I remember telling my guidance counselor, I was like, hey, I'm going to be a rock star.
Yeah, you don't understand.
Right.
I'm going to
do this.
But what if you don't?
But I will. What?
Yeah.
Does not compute.
No, you can't have it.
You can't even have it.
I mean, it seemed very possible, and this seemed like the ticket, and I don't know how old they were.
Were they ended up being like a rich dad band or something?
No, not at all. They had it super together. They were probably like 4 to 6 years older than me, and if I had said that wrong, I'm sorry. It's like, but anyways, I was young, and they were real established down there. And I remember they picked me up for a weekend, and dude came in his convertible with his girlfriend, and they were all dating strippers or Hooters girls. So I mean, I was just,
you're like, this is gonna work out.
All right.
Yeah, that's great.
So they took me down there and just like took me to all the bars, first of all. And as an underage drinker, I was really excited about getting that introduction. And they took me to Diamond Dallas Page, the wrestler, had a bar down there. And I don't know if he managed the band at that time or what, but we had some connections. So like, that was my first introduction, was to this wrestler dude, and they just like
Money man
showed me around. They were huge down there. They ran the whole town. So I packed my stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you're like, this is gonna work.
Yeah,
I love Fort Myers.
I did, man. It was different because it was smaller, but it wasn't overbuilt. It was really pretty. Sanibel was great. Everybody was cool.
Let me ask you, in the Fort Myers group here, what's the rig?
Oh, it's the worst thing you've ever heard.
What is the
You're gonna love this.
1989 rig?
It's so bad, dude.
Crate
It's
blue
so bad. All right, so when Crate came out, it was the cheapest. It was the cheapest amp there was.
With the most gain, yeah.
It didn't really have. It didn't have gain. It didn't have anything.
It sounded like Crate.
This is the first Crate. First Crate. This is like a crate stack.
Prototype.
I had a crate stack that was like 40 pounds total.
Like, there's nothing.
Had full head. Had a chorus.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Full Ford.
Oh my.
Jesus.
Ford.
Yeah, that was my first rig that I played with the bands in Tampa, and I had a Rockman sustainer thing, but I didn't even know about foot pedals, so I think I used to push the button to get a boost.
Yeah, why not?
I never had a tuner. I never learned to play. I went to Bill Edwards, had a music store, Edwards Music, and I went there to take lessons from this guy named Bush, Tampa.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
And I remember learning like 2 Sabotage songs and Crazy Train, and then I said, I'm good.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah.
Where's the gig?
was the gig.
Right on.
Half stack crate rig, Rockman effects. Oh, then it got worse. Then I was like, I'll buy a Marshall. And I didn't know anything about tubes.
Okay.
So I bought a valve state Marshall head, the first one. So that was my rig on top of a crate 412.
Wow.
Yeah, and we got signed with that. So there you go.
Good songs.
What band was this?
That was they were called The Unknown, and then they turned into Blackfish when their record came out.
Cool.
It was cool. And they were right, man. We went down there, we did a lot of showcases. We would play this crazy place called The Reef, I want to say 21 days in a row, but we must have had a day off. But it felt like we were, it was one of those 3 sets at least, maybe 4.
Oh, sure.
But just a wild place. Drugs, fights, crowds. It was exciting. They had a following there that was just pretty into it. So anyway.
Shit. The 90s creep in.
Yeah, then
you got to leave Fort Myers at one point. I'm wondering how this happened.
Oh, yeah, I got kicked out.
Indigo come into play in this, because you're in Fort Myers at the time.
That's right. I forgot about that. No, I left for a while. So they needed a guy that was way more in control than I was. The record label dude did. He was just the A&R guy's name was Michael Kaplan, and he was, freshly cleaned up. He didn't want any kind of trouble.
Enough for you to remember his name.
Yeah, so, they gave me a chance to work it out, and I didn't work it out. So I left, and they got the guy who also has passed, but his name was, no offense, I can't remember your name, Mike. Anyway, him and his brother were in this really cool band called Self. Right. And I think it came out on Universal or DreamWorks. Yeah, they had a song, Cannon. It was a great song.
Yeah. Ronnie was super into itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they got Mike, and then they did a record. And the funny thing about their record is that nobody really here, they didn't really get very popular, but Aaron Akers, who I play with in Florida, was he loves that record. Yeah. And he's from Indiana, so I guess it worked out up there.
Yeah.
So I came up to Tampa and I played in this weird cover band called The Other Band for a while. It was not a great period. They were wonderful people, but I was kind of bummed out about the whole thing. Yeah. And playing in these weird places like J.J. Higgins and stuff. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
You were the king of Fort Myers. And that.
Yeah, but then they cut me off. And so I was like, all right, I got to leave. Yeah. But I had a lot of friends there. I'd been there for a couple of years. I'd met Joe Harley, came to a Blackfish or the Unknown show at this Chinese restaurant that was also a rock venue we'd play at. And so I met him.
Florida.
Fort Myers.
Yeah, and so I moved back down there to hang out with him, I think. We were going to start a band or something.
Yeah.
And
so is that when Potato Gun begins?
Kind of. I think I was trying to put my own stuff out there, and we played in a couple cover bands. We played in the Fried Pipers. We played in The Kind, and we used to come up and open up for Kitty Grinds or whatever.
Oh, shit.
I remember The Kind.
The Kind.
I saw a couple shows.
And then that tore apart, and I bought into the Indigo. My friend Ray, who owns those buildings, was looking for investors, and he was going to renovate that block.
Yeah.
And me and Joe lived in there for a while. No bath. We had a bathroom, nothing but huge roaches everywhere. It was like an old office building, like hotel, haunted. No one was downtown in Fort Myers at that time.
Oh, wow.
There was one bar, the Draft House, and then so we would go to the hotel to shower off at the pool, pull the thing, and it was pretty weird. Yeah, but that's where Potato Gun started, and
people got to know where the Indigo is, because that spot now, I don't know what it's called now, but
Ponce de Leon in downtown Fort Myers.
Banging.
Oh, dude, think of the money I would have had. I know.
It's fucked up.
That was dumb. So, it was a weird deal. I got to be honest. He came to talk to me when I was not in a remembering state of mind.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
And he came to talk to me again, and the same thing happened. So I don't know what kind of deal we made, but eventually, when I got back from Oregon, I sold my part of it, and it's all good. And Ray's a decent dude, and everybody down there was fun. But yeah, the first show we had, I was like, Ray, you got to get this band for our opening called Dolores Telescope. You're going to love them.
Cool.
Oh, boy.
And so they come, and I was super excited to show them off, right? And they start playing, and they just kind of just don't. They just play just whatever the whole time. And
Every time you try to show someone Dolores Telescope,
dude,
they're not them.
So I said, there's a break, right? And I said, Casey, hey, man, can you play, I don't know what I requested, Eugene, Bloodhouse in the Band House, whatever it was. I mean, a bunch of stuff. And he just said, oh, sorry, man, we don't play songs anymore.
That's Casey. We're doing something new.
Like,
You would love
right,
this band.
Yeah.
You would love this band.
Yeah.
So I remember doing that. But we had some fun. We did a Potato Gun show there where we all took limousine, and Potato Gun was also, a band that would have succeeded at the right place. Fort Myers was, again, it was still just really, hard for anybody without that kind of ambition and organization to get it going.
Yeah.
We never had that.
Tampa was hard enough.
I never had the guy you need or the person you need that's like, okay, now we're going to do this.
Yeah. Right.
We were all just kind of,
yeah.
And it just, once again, but I remember at least that time we did shotgun mailings of our CD and everything. And we played a lot, and I was playing bass. Oh, and the bass rig was a PA head into some kind of super heavy cabinet without wheels, an 810 cabinet that was no name with wood paneling. And that was the bass. And the bass was the cheapest bass that they had in the music store. My priorities.
That rig will work.
I got into gear once priorities stopped.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? My
Once
money was all towards certain things.
Right.
And it wasn't gear.
Right.
Wasn't
Okay,
gear.
all right.
But, I think out of that, when I go to a music store, if I go pick up a guitar, if it doesn't feel right, all that gear felt, I could express myself on it.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing today. I don't care what it does. I don't want you to tell me how it works.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have any songs in it, I don't want it.
Well, and that P bass that you have now,
That's my favorite thing.
73?
74.
74. You got that probably around the same time as Potato Gun. I mean, ever since I've known you, you've had that bass. So.
I bought that in Oregon.
Oh,
I wish
okay,
I could
cool.
remember the name of the place, but I bought it in Oregon for probably $800, which may have been more gear. Okay. So my gear obsession started in Oregon.
Ah, okay, cool.
That can happen in Oregon.
Yeah.
That's when I started recording in earnest. All through the unknown stuff and everything else, I stopped writing songs. I only write songs from 1990 to 1998.
Wow.
And the stuff I did write was not worth thinking about.
What got you started on that again?
I don't know. I think I was alone.
98-ish?
Yeah, I moved to Oregon out of I don't know why. Okay, so the music that's been so, your music's pivots you every so often.
Yeah.
For me, early, it was Savatage, Rocks Gang, Rat, Van Halen, Scorps, Judas Priest. And then it was in the 90s, it was Pavement. Pavement just stunted me.
Oh, yeah.
I was how are they doing that?
Yeah.
Who was even, it was Pavement, the Toadies, the Pixies, the Posies.
Yep.
And then
Roots, the Frogs.
Power Pots.
One day I was driving on WMNF, I was driving to Tampa, driving down 56th Street right towards Fowler, and I heard what I later found out was Elliott Smith on the radio. And I literally pulled the car over. I guess I don't have a cell phone. I don't know how I would have done it. I know I called the radio station and be at 8:55 last night, you played a particular song.
Yeah.
And it was Elliott Smith, who was from Portland. And I was experiencing Built to Spill and Pavement at that time. And I just was why are all these bands so much better than our bands? Why are these bands just in just way more than anything I'm getting here? And I just kind of packed up and went across country and went to school while I was there. But really, I just wanted to see what was going on. How were they making that sound? And
it drew you to it. You went to the source, that is fucking awesome. Yeah, I had to see it.
I had to see it, man.
Yeah. And what did you see?
I saw that the bar was set in a different place. It was the history of their music scene, whereas ours was, wherever it came from was building that metal, that glam style. theirs was like their own thing. It was wiggly and emotional and like
fucking vulnerable and
heavy,
real
deep heavy.
shit, man.
Like not heavy music, but like, you know, they had a culture that we didn't have at all.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I felt out of place and they would be like, I love your accent. I was like, what accent?
Yeah, accent. No, this is Electric Bill and the Rent about this time?
Yeah, dude. This was when I knew you because of Freaks Rule.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't move.
Oh, we skipped Freaks Rule.
Until 98. So.
Yeah, Freaks are before the Oregon split.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I lost
let's backstory.
98's a big year.
Okay, pre-Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay, so around... God, man, this is crazy to talk about.
I like going. I'm like on the ride going, okay, now we're going to go see the source.
I've been busy, and I've been, So anyways, it's after Potato Gun. I don't know how Potato Gun broke up or what happened. I thought I moved. I was still living in Fort Myers when I was playing Freaks Rule. So Brother Phil, here's how I met Phil. First time I saw Phil, I was an underage kid at the Club Detroit. He was playing at Kitty Grinds. These two girls took me to see him. They all thought he was hot and all that, and I had to go see.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, those guys are cool.
Pretty hot.
But I don't know how I met him, but there was a point where me and Jim Stevens wanted to put together the coolest looking band in town, and we wanted to put Mike McCorkle, who we didn't know, and Brother Phil, because they're 8x10. We were like, if those two dudes and us were in a band, we'd be badass.
We'd have the look.
We'd have the look. So we stole a band name from a Mother Love Bone song and called the band Hot Magandhi.
Oh, yeah.
And even George Zickel III took our 8x10. I think I started trying to write songs then, and they were not very good. That was like Alice in Chains were coming into the mix. Things were changing like that. Mother Love Bone and Alice in Chains and grunge and things were affecting the way we listened to music or thought what we would write was, you know what I mean? It was, we were confused.
Oh, totally. I mean, it was a whole shift. Nobody was really ready for it either. It just all of a sudden came out of the blue like, this is what it is now.
But there was a lot of alternative stuff coming out at that time that was not, same thing. But, I liked Fishbone. I liked all that stuff. But I don't know. This goes back to Phil. So I don't remember how I got into Freaks Rule. Marvin was playing guitar. I was living with Todd and Aaron still at like our third house.
Oh, nice.
And
that's Fort Myers people.
And being at the Indigo and, doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And so Phil somehow was like, you need to join. Can I do a Phil voice?
Absolutely.
You need to join my band. You're perfect, whatever. And I don't even know. I guess because I had come up and played with Phil with me and Joe's bands, and Potato Gun played with them, and we slept on the toy store floor.
Right. It was family, dude. It was a family thing.
Family thing. Okay. So I was chosen.
Yeah, you were chosen.
So I was really nervous. I never learned to play covers because they were too hard.
Yeah.
I had friends that could play just like Eddie Van Halen or just like George Lynch, and I'd just be like, well, I'm going to leave that to you. I'm going to do my own thing.
You your own voice because of that.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I was scared to play in Phil's band because I was like, I don't want to learn 2 cassettes. He sent me 2 cassette tapes of covers. And he's like, it's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I had never done that. So what happened was, either his tape or probably my machine that I had. So I learned it. And I was like, wow, it's all tuned down a half step. Whole thing, like everything. Black Crows, I didn't know that. Chili Peppers, I didn't know that. So I show up at the gig.
Oh, no.
At Club Moore or wherever the first gig was.
Probably Club Moore.
Probably the Beach Bar.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Probably the Beach Bar. Which was like the Reef, except not quite.
Oh, Reef was kind of like Beach Bar.
Reef was less beach bar-y, but it was still like...
Because Beach Bar had Spike.
We had they had Spike. Right, that was the first place I ever saw a guy get hit by a chair, and Spike was the one that hit him with the chair.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
I remember me and Ken Logan were taking a piss at the Beach Bar, and the garbage can was on fire behind us, and we both just walked in, took a piss, and walked out the door.
Deal.
Yeah.
That was Beach Bar, man.
I might have been at this Freaks Rule show at the Beach Bar.
Anyway, so I obviously was in the wrong key the entire time. Couldn't figure that kind of thing out,
Like,
you know.
why is this happening?
I don't even think I tuned it down. Maybe I just learned it in like the off thing. So,
Right.
But my problem solving was I wasn't super quick. But we just got along so good, and I had fun because at that point I was coming up here on the weekends.
Yeah.
Phil would pay me money, and I would blow it literally here at the same time, and then I would go back and do that. But and then I moved.
Yeah.
Fucking freaks rule.
Freaks rule, yeah. And that was fun, man. It was a lot of funky jams in he was right.
Yeah, that was a very.
It kind of came to an end.
I don't remember what that was about, but I left.
Well,
I left knowing you.
To Black Honkeys, so I don't know how that. How it stopped being Freaks Rule and went
Clearwater All Stars, the greatest band that ever was. If I would say, besides those bands I loved when I was a kid, the Clearwater All Stars were also one of the most influential bands on me. Ronnie D was also my local hero. And with Clearwater All Stars, he was bringing, and Phil and you and everybody, a positive energy I had never experienced. I never hung out with the Dead. I hated Fish. I hated all that stuff. I hated all the people in the shorts.
Gotcha. And this was something like that, a community.
Yeah, but everybody was kind of wasted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good community.
100% wasted. And it was like
that's a good
us.
Community.
And it was rock, and it had a thing, and it had this like inclusion thing. And they would let me get up, and I mean, it was hard to put up with me at that time, and they would still include me briefly.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it.
It was a great
man.
time. There's no doubt.
Ronnie D told me he had to kick you out of his studio one time.
Yeah.
Because you were like doing windmills
I'll talk about
and shit.
that. It wasn't windmills, I hope, but I had a.
It was not windmills. No,
So there was a point where it was almost like Tourette's for my hands when I drink brown liquor. I don't know. There was like a stretch where I would just go into my slapping era.
Like a slapping mode.
Yeah.
He had a slap face.
I had a slap phase. And, sometimes it would just happen. When I get excited.
Yeah, you'd let a couple slaps fly.
A couple slaps fly. And it was like, it was precursor to a fist bump. It was just a little
open hand.
Okay.
There was a microphone knocked off
I'm
the
just saying,
stand.
it wasn't as playful as a fist bump.
No, it didn't.
Stage, that took you out of all the other bullshit. Stage, you're a different person. You're focused in on what you're doing up there.
Now I am.
No, you always were like that.
Well, when I lost the job with Black Honkeys or whatever Phil was trying to do, here's what I remember about that. We were Billy G's.
Yeah.
It was like me. I don't even know who it was. It was pre-Black Honkeys era. I had just moved back, and we were doing some of the soul songs. We were doing like Shoot Your Shot too, like Jay Giles stuff. And it might have been Joe Sanders too. But anyway, that didn't work out, and they got Tommy Thompson. Started in with that, but I don't think there'd be Black Honkeys without Clearwater All Stars because Ronnie was in. But what I don't know. Yeah, that's for your interview.
Yeah. Anyway, you start. I'm getting to writing and recording songs, man. I think the semis are.
He's put up with almost the whole thing.
From the resurgence after the 8-year hiatus.
You do remember? I would take this. Okay, so the VS 880.
Yeah.
I had that in Oregon.
Yeah.
And I started writing songs in Oregon, and I would just do it every night, all the time, all night long. And then I had an answer machine, and Greg Zink would call me from the Titanic, or Brother Phil, and then would call me drunk, and we'd talk. Like, I loved that era because I was alone and making songs, but I didn't feel lonely because I had this Clearwater connection, and they would call all the time. And so I started writing songs that would later become like the Semis stuff. But I didn't know what to do with it. I played with a couple of bands out there loosely, but they were just like by convenience. It was like the Pot Dealers band and like his other band, or just like people I fell into, and it wasn't anything I was loving. But I got to see all these other bands that were just like so influential, and I tried to take that back with me when I came home. And I came home and I started recording on the VS 880. With who knows what mics.
Yeah.
I did have a Jazzmaster, a really old one, like a 61 that I bought out there. And I had that brown bass. Yeah. And I had the hollow body, like the Harmony hollow body.
Yeah.
And a bunch of cool fuzz pedals. And,
That's the semi sound,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would take the VS 880 to Modulo, wherever he was, and he could help me extract it and fix it, work on it,
Excellent, man. I love that fucking band, guys. It would look up everything Billy does, but
the Semis was fucking weird. It was a great time.
Yes, that was a chaotic
in life, period. But
electric.
Man, he fucking wrote some great
fucking bangers.
songs.
Electric band.
There was 2 records that came out early. The one was the 666, Route 666 one, and then the other one was the White Powder, Black Power EP. And we did that one at the Springs Theater, I think, or at least some of it. But I didn't make a record that made any sense to me until 2010. And life was changing hard. I was in Tampa at a warehouse with no air conditioning on like Death Metal Row on Nebraska.
Oh, I know that warehouse row
by
there.
Skippers.
Yeah, mosquito pit.
Dude, it was rough. So I tried to write stuff there,
Did some time there.
It was hard, man. But this was 2010. And this was Back to the Beach. I kind of cleared my head after many, many years, and I started writing all these songs. It was like somebody lifted up the gate, man.
I love when that
happens.
happens.
Weird.
It is weird. It's
And it
pulling from the
hasn't
ether,
stopped.
man. It's just you tapped it.
I've tapped it, and I was, but this was early, and I was like, okay, so this stuff was coming in. My voice was still like not this roughed up, and I was singing higher, and I wrote all these songs, and I met Kyle, who's been a drummer and a partner with me in the band since 2010. I think he said, I just met him somewhere, and he's like, "Oh, you play in that band Semis?" He's like, "I could play in that band." I was like, "Well, you're in because I need a drummer, and let's go." Wow. So we kind of just like got off there, and so lived in this tiny house, and it had a room by the porch. It was really small with an AC, and that's where my computer was and my couple things. And the modulo came over to help me mix it, and he stays up way later than I can. And so I remember going to bed, but what I didn't realize is I had locked him in the studio overnight with an outside lock. And
so
when I got up, dude, I got up and opened the door. He was sitting at the computer, and he was like, "I'm almost done." And he mixed the whole record. And it was a very magical record. And
it's awesome. LJ, early LJ. We'll save that for the.
It was, I mean, people seem to like it here, and it was like best album of the year and Creative Loafing's 5-person survey or whatever they do. But it felt good. Yeah, and like Fun in the Sun was it wasn't on there. I don't know what was on there. But the second album with the Semis that we did was called The Decapitator Blues.
Yeah.
And that's my favorite Semis record because Modular just ripped that one. I used my friend Jay's Marshall JCM 800 to do the guitars.
Oh, yes.
Remember that white one?
Yeah.
And
something probably happened to you during that, using that amplifier.
Well, I had become a way more confident player between 2010 and 2011. Like
that amp showed up at the right time then,
things were really just starting to change, and that record was, I feel really good about that. I haven't listened to it in years and years. I never listen to stuff after I put it out. I'm so tired of it. Like for me, at that point until now, it's not that I want to jam with anybody. I have like this stuff that won't leave me alone. Yeah. And if I don't get it out, it doesn't go away. And even if the song sucks, it won't leave until it's out. Fully. And then it's like, thank God, at least it's out.
It's done.
But what I find is that usually ends up being something that needed to come out for a reason, and you just don't know what that is for. But at least it cleared the space.
Yeah. Well, it's like the only way we can see and visualize time is a sand dune, because that's what time did to the earth, and that's kind of what having to keep making more art to me, because you don't want to sit there and stare at that sand. Well, that's a moment in time. It's a perfect moment in time. Okay, next.
Right.
So to me, it's like that. Even when your lads or your people you're playing with, they're like, let's play that one from back in the day.
Do you call them your lads?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Play one. Let's do one from back. Even when what I mean is like when people want to cook up older stuff, I'm just like I'm just so disengaged.
Oh no, I can't.
Dude, next time I try to cook up like that kind of shit, dude, it's like sand dunes, bro.
Sand dunes, bro. You can only stare at it for so long, man.
Yeah.
I mean, things come back around. I've recorded different songs in different ways. Like there's some songs where you get it out and you're like, I got it out, but it isn't quite what I meant.
Yeah.
And you'll go back and do it again. But I am always like, before I got here, I was singing on this track that you would help me mix, of course, but I've never released it. And if it doesn't get released, it's fair game, right? Because if you release it, you're saying, I've done this and here it is.
Yeah.
But, one thing is, until I cleaned my act up, I couldn't complete anything.
Yeah.
And so when I started to have the ability to complete something is when it was like, guess what? There's a line of songs that have been waiting to come out while you were goofing around for the past 25 years.
Yeah, working
and
on
they're
it.
still waiting.
It's not committing. Working on it forever is you're just afraid of it being over or it's not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
Get it in the rear view. Get to the next one, man.
When did you start landing placements and shit?
Oh man, that was such a trip. I don't know how I got into that. I
mean, that's been a while
well,
now,
what that is, and what that is Billy's had music in a lot of top-rated programming from Netflix to
HBO, everything, man. Yeah, that's so funny. It's like, okay, so that's my favorite thing that happened. Basically, if I'm on a TV show that my wife likes to watch,
yeah. I'm
back.
Yeah, right.
I'm back.
See, you got to keep your strategy simple. That's
she's not going to listen to my record, but she's definitely going to watch Search Party.
So what shows are we talking about? What have you been in? Right?
Okay, so like I was working at this job. I got to work at a museum because the show's called Near Misses, and I have to work.
Yeah, I know.
So close.
Yeah.
Anyway, for now.
Yeah.
But the dream.
Yeah.
When Zoe gets a great job and supports both me and you, I have
Absolutely.
that on a text. Anyway, I was working at the museum and I got somebody wrote me like a Facebook message, I don't know who. Are you the guy on the Sundance Channel commercial? I was like, what?
Yeah, right.
So I didn't know, and I had submitted a lot of music to a company, I think it was Jingle Punks or somebody like that. And, they took the cues, but you don't, it's the most impersonal thing. Back when you were getting signed, they were schmoozing you and taking you out and telling you all this stuff and people around you. Yeah. Music licensing, man, they don't even write you back. So you send it out there and they're going to take 50% of this and 50% of that.
It's like a fucking message in a bottle or something. You're just hoping it gets uncorked.
Well, it is. But, I had sent out every CD we had done, everything else, every email, every package, and I never got a response from anything from the semi-sync.
Yeah.
And it's another thing where you're like, if you want to be successful, it's really helpful to be in a place that has a scene that supports that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
And had I done that, things might have been a lot different for me. But for whatever reason, it didn't. So it was interesting how that void fueled music for me. Like, that's a muse for me. It's like, okay,
right.
Yeah.
We're out
I will
here.
Continue.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was the first one. I remember we saw it and the commercial came on and it was like movies of the summer 2012. And they played like the whole Fun of the Sun. And me and Zoe were just like staring at the TV like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
And for some reason, they didn't have to pay me for it because I remember calling or writing, be like, where's my money?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, because it's a promo of this and that, the movie thing. Sundance Channel does not have to.
Yeah.
But you know what the first placement was?
No.
It was like the Hazies or U-Rock and the Semis got in some movie
I remember that
with
movie.
the guy from Star Trek.
Oh, dude.
And we went to Sarasota for the premiere.
Oh, yes.
And they did pay us like $200 or something. I was like, yeah, I made it.
Yeah. But then after that, like, what are some of the shows just so
Okay.
these people know?
So it used to just be like really weird stuff that I wouldn't watch. Buying Alaska, What Not to Wear, Property Brothers Canada or something that I couldn't even get.
Right.
And they'd always use just the faux furs or the intro to something or the instrumental part.
Yeah.
But then I started with a different company too, that kind of pitched to, more hip shows and a wider range of possibilities. So Search Party, Chicago Fire.
I mean, I know Ted Lasso.
Ozark?
Nancy Drew.
No,
Ozark?
maybe.
I think it's
Nancy
one of
Drew,
those shows like that.
Some big ass show that he's talking about, either Ozark or
Yeah, it was a
fucking
big
Breaking Bad.
motherfucker.
It was some big ass show back in the day.
I don't know, but
Big
really,
ass show.
Yeah, big ass show.
Okay, so most of the time, like the Ted Lasso thing was like great because I love Ted Lasso. We were already watching it. I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And so this has happened way more than once, but I listen to the whole program and I don't hear the song, and I'm just like, And so, right, so now I'm tuned to like anytime I hear any background noise, like even if it just sounds like a mic getting hot, I'm like, that's it.
Yeah, it's got to be.
So I'm pressed against the TV thing. And when you turn up a TV thing, the music doesn't get louder.
No, it does not.
But I can tell, and I'll hear one note, and it'll be like, oh, that is me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So, like, that's it. So it's like, it's not like they're like, we need that Bill Summer song.
Yeah.
They're like, we need something that sounds vaguely like Joy Division playing in the background. And so where you
That we don't have to pay for that much.
Well, they paid for that.
Well, good.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends. If people watch the show 10 million times, it's different.
That's true.
Right.
Mailbox money, good
and they
money.
definitely watch that. But it's there's been a lot of that stuff, and I just got my last 3 songs rejected, and I know it's because you didn't mix them.
It's probably true.
It is true.
LJ, we can't look what you're. It's a house of cards, dude. Without the mix.
And when I put them out there, I thought, because this is the stuff I'm doing now. This is the Florida stuff.
Okay, cool.
The things I send you, and I go, "Are these good?" He's like. But I mean, you put it on now, I'm a much better producer at stuff like this than I was, but they're looking for like cutting edge stuff or things that sound like old stuff, but that are made on cutting edge stuff.
Absolutely. It has its place.
Yeah.
It does.
And you keep doing it. It will get placed further. I firmly believe that because it's its own thing, and
it will.
It's been getting placed, and there's a couple of shows I can't remember, but a lot of them were things that we watch, and some were just little snippets. But that's been cool because I have friends, and I know a lot of people make their living writing specifically for that, and they'll write cues for what they think they want, and instead I've just written music that I have. And then just by the off chance submitted it to them thinking, but the fact that they used it without me trying to change my integrity of the music. Like I've only specifically given up on one of my own songs and turned it into something I thought that they would take maybe 3 times, but definitely 3 times.
The people that are making that their living, are they shitting in their pants right now because of AI?
I would think so.
I would think so too.
I mean, when I watch shows now, like we watch a couple of real not great shows that have the music behind it. It's almost like a narrator, like telling them what they're doing. And I mean, it's a lot easier to be like, now they're not in the pool, they're in the mountains. Instead of calling you and going, can you re-record that line about the mountains?
Or like you even said, like when they have a pool of submissions, and then they'll have some tags for what a producer's looking for, or something Joy Division,
Yeah.
Well, now all that has to be as a prompt.
Yeah.
And the thing's going to go.
For sure. And you know what? Maybe it should.
That's what it sounds like when AI makes art. Yeah.
Well, maybe it should do that. And maybe that's not art. Maybe they are. Maybe the
it's a simulation.
It's an accompanied whatever of a show, but it's not art.
It's not art, no, but either way, it's still getting used, and it is taking your job away from somebody that would have been art.
Well, it's going to take.
It doesn't matter,
It's going to take a lot of people's jobs away, I think. Whether they do art or not. But people will still create art because art doesn't come from a place of being put down by the man.
Yeah, it doesn't come from abundance and convenience.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it snuffs that out, then let something else bubble up.
I'll tell you what, Billy. I want to talk about Florida, but you can't talk about Florida without talking about hotel life and luxury Maine.
Oh yeah.
So is there
luxury Maine?
These are other just fucking kick-ass projects, bands, concepts that Billy has collared and recorded and Was there any evolution in there, or?
Yeah, man, it was the Semis had made the Decapitated Blues record, which was just like solid hard rock, and then we made High on Pop, and that's when I started to kind of get a different voice. So I wanted to change it up a little bit, so we just kind of stopped the Semis, and I was recording. I got the Tascam 388.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to record a tape.
Yeah.
You know, again, I never had an interest in engineering, and I never understood it, and I never really wanted to. I knew the sounds I wanted to hear in my head.
You got romanced by the tape.
Well, I like the idea. I don't like the idea of working with a computer because I don't want to see it. I don't want to look at it. I want to hear it. I'm much better. I play by ear. Therefore, I want to hear. I
record by ear.
It. Right. And record by ear.
Why the hell wouldn't all of us record by ear? It does, when the visualizing makes you notice things that maybe aren't.
Oh, 100%.
Right.
You have to turn that off, not look at it.
Well, you would. But, you know, it's just, whatever it was, I wanted to choose to do that. And so we started recording on that. I think I was playing through a Sun at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that amp?
And that was great, and I regret selling it. You know how, like, you think you need $800 or something?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't, but I did at the time, and I was like, oh, man, I really need to do that. But I didn't, and I sold it. So I was playing with a Sun Scepter head and 212 cab. And that was kind of the sound of that, and a hollow body guitar, and then a Jazz Master later. But there was an evolution. The first record had like Youth Envy and University Dropout Blues, and a lot of songs that I thought, you know, Imaginary Mountain, that's been placed quite a few times. Yeah. That I thought really were strong songs. What's the second record? Oh, Gold Standard. Man, yeah. We did. Man. So I think we did Natural Beauty. We did Gold Standard. It started to get a little bit more, the song started to grow a little bit more. We had Aaron playing guitar at this point. Jay he was either on it or he had moved to Brooklyn at this time. We did what's the third one called, man? The Domestic Bliss record. Oh, yeah. No, I'm missing one. Okay. There's the yellow one in between there, and that's the one with, I wish I had a reference here. There's too many records for me to even think about.
That's fantastic.
Natural Beauty, Gold Standard, Isn't This Great, Luck's Running Out, Domestic Bliss was like the final thing. And there is a sonic elevation to that whole thing, but man, those were exciting to make. We made the first three of them on tape. Different varieties. We had like the 58, the 48, the 38, and, you know, the big board and everything. And I mean, it wasn't like great equipment. It was lo-fi for sure.
It's such a cool capture of that moment, though.
About exactly. It's sand dunes, man. It's freaking awesome.
It's like, this is what's happening this year.
Right then, at that moment.
This year, we were doing this. Yeah. You know, it's so cool that way. It's a total time machine, man. You go back and listen to it, you get transported right back to when you made it.
So you do this prolific collection with Lux. What's the tick that goes?
Pandemic.
Pandemic comes.
I think. Like, I don't remember what was going on at that time. Like, I was like 2018 or something. Anyway, I don't remember what happened, but I think the band kind of, like, Lucky Man was a really, I really liked playing that music with that band. That was really fun for me.
Any chance of that cooking back up?
I mean, you know, I don't know. I can't think about cooking what I already ate.
We already covered. We don't cook back up. We don't reheat.
Right.
We don't reheat.
With a catalog like mine, the going back ain't gonna happen until I'm 75 years old, and at that point, who's gonna care?
You're only gonna go back a little while. Like, I'm going back to 65.
So I realized I was gonna be sitting at home for a while. I think I got rid of the drum set. I put a couch in the studio and decided to start writing my own stuff. And, you know, LaMangelo helped me with most of that stuff. Almost all those records have those drummers, that fake drummer on it. And I missed, like, I want to say I miss the human. I mean, I like playing with Kyle. I like playing with other people. But honestly, all of this was a big chance for me to just like,
well, you knew what you wanted.
Be with myself, which I love musically.
Yeah, because the momentum's different. You're getting there's a lot of upside in getting the drums and the bass organically.
Yeah,
but it's a process.
Yeah.
And when you're not doing it that way, it seems to be like a very fluid, quick. In my opinion, like I can work a little.
Yeah.
I can think as I work and shape the music as I think about it.
Exactly. And I've always written in the studio.
Shaping.
Yeah.
Shaving.
Yeah.
I don't have enough lyrics to cover even 60% of the songs I've written. So it's tough for me to have all this music.
Well, you have like 965 songs ready to go right now.
Yeah. But this is great. I haven't thought about that, but like Fiddly Fig and The Test and Royal Palm was all pandemic stuff. The Outer Banks season 2. So
Outer Banks. Outer Banks. That's the one we left out? Is that
but I wasn't on the show, so I'm such an idiot. But I wanted to be. So I named my EP their season that was coming out, Outer Banks season 3.
I've done that before.
But
this
one
is
of the
fucking
songs
weird.
on that,
I've done the
not that weird,
mirror
apparently.
thing, and I've done that before.
Well, we should be. Maybe we're like, we're best friends, man. We don't know it, but there's songs on those things that got placements, and songs on there that are queued up that get pitched a lot. Like a lot of the pitches, they're not going to come back as connects. But dude, these folks pitch to a lot of big things, and I would love to land it. But
dude, the Lion. Why is that not?
The Lion is tarot that I just finished playing and got rejected, but I love it. I love that recording that Florida did, and it's going to come out, but you're going to have to eyeball it again.
Yeah.
Florida, let's go. Let's talk about it.
Oh, yeah, the Lion was on tape.
Yeah, the Lion, that's what I'm talking about. That era.
That was when I started to give up on the tape. I was like, I'm going to work so much faster and cleaner.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was because I wasn't concerned about sonic clarity. I was just wanting to play.
Well, you want to capture something.
But when you're submitting things to people that need to hear it.
They care about that.
Yeah, and whenever La Modula would sign up to make stuff for me, I'm just all 100% there because literally it's just night and day, Some people have a magic talent.
He has that way of making your concept come to reality. History will be very kind to you, sir.
Yeah.
With all this discography and the prolific songwriting and the effort constantly. And that's what, the difference.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You can say it's this and you can say it's that, or I've seen some tweets about, or whatever's about the difference between a working musician versus one that does it on the weekends or something. Controversial takes on that. You're not.
It's about
searching and fucking keeping progression, man. It's not about any of that. It's about keeping that momentum. Yeah. And man, what a fucking body of work. Which, dude, I got to talk about Florida because I just feel like it's at this point, it's fucking getting ready to happen.
Let me tell you, the segue to that is that the only thing that's worse about naming your band Florida when you're obscure, you can't Google us. No one's going to find us. There's already a guy named Flo Rida. Yeah. But the last thing I did with myself was called Stephen King's because also, I don't know, whatever years back, I got an email from Ray at Creative Loafing. He's like, what is this all about? And it was like an excerpt from Stephen King's book called Billy Summers.
Yes.
And it talked about Skipper Smokehouse, and it talked about my name, Billy Summers. And I'm like, what is happening? I felt like he had found out my name because he goes to Skipper's, apparently to see Southern culture on the skids all the time.
Really?
And wrote a book with my name. I'm like, you didn't Google search Billy Summers or like, what did...
Saw it on a flyer.
And he just wiped me right out of searchability and everything else. Like, there's, I'm going to be the last thing that comes up.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. Somebody sent me the book, and I was just like, my name has always been an asset because people are like, well, you sound like a rock star. And I'd be like, well,
I'll tell you what
I am.
Let me tell you what I fucking love about that. And all of it, going back to Florida being hard to search, and then the Stephen King, and then...
FTG.
hey man, sometimes you gotta dig.
Yeah.
If you want to find something fucking worthwhile, sometimes you got to do some fucking effort instead of going, this dude, and getting everything they've ever done immediately because they have the right. No, I love the fact that and I believe there's a method to it in there. You want to be hard to search. There's something about it that you're like, I like.
There's a punk rock aspect.
Because there's a pattern of you doing
Listen, I'd like to tell you that, but I would sell out like that if I could figure out how to do it. I mean, it's not going to change the way I'm made up.
You know what, Billy? You would not sell out like that. You would sell in.
I'd sell in.
You would sell in because you'd be like, yeah, as long as we're doing it my way and what I'm fucking doing, I'm all in, you know.
I remember calling Joe Harley years ago and being like, I'm selling out. And I don't remember what I meant, but I meant that I was going to try to write a song. But the thing is, I just write the songs I write. And if they come out too corny, I just let them lie, you know? I mean...
That's great. Jen, my wife, will tell me sometimes, she's like, you write so many songs, you were always writing. Why don't you just write a really good country song and then it will become a good country song? And I'm like, because I don't think I could know how to fucking do that. You know, I don't even know if I could. And it would be, I bet your mine would be horrible.
Well, you might not be able to stand behind it, but if you look at the lyrics to a lot of the hit songs, listen, you know, nobody's...
I'm not doing that.
Right.
I'm not even, I wouldn't recognize that activity.
Right.
I don't even know what it is. See, I couldn't even, I just tried and I couldn't.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
But, you know, it's a starving artist thing. You usually have to play in a band to be in a band. You know, like all of Black Honkeys' monies have gone to finance this band or my guitar things or whatever it is. It's like you have to do it somehow. But what do you want to talk about Florida? I can't even like picture what happened and how that got started. Does anyone know?
Yeah, well, because I want to talk about it because it's just explosive in a way, potential-wise to me. And I latched onto your concept, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know, you know, if you were method acting when you came up with Florida. I don't know.
Kyle came up with that name.
When did this happen?
I don't remember. Doesn't feel like long ago.
Like it's all like after pandemic though, right?
Yeah. We started getting back together.
Right when time started to not really matter at all.
Yeah, what's on the Florida record?
Right. The warping.
Right
when Project Looking Glass fucking went a little too far.
Right when you can't have no memory about what you did yesterday.
Like, so when I first read and looked and learned about this effort, you know, I was like, fuck, what a fucking perfect time for a fucking wicked rock band called Florida that is fringe and that it doesn't get, because we, you know, when we're going earlier in the interview, we're talking about when you were just here in the 90s, you were isolated from everywhere and you were just fucking here. You had to create your shit. It's still kind of happening, you know, here because it takes time. It takes long, you know, we're still a little out here.
Now you're connected. I mean, the internet's been around for a gazillion years. You can connect with anybody anywhere. And if you want to leave here, you can. The music scene here is not interesting to me, but this was something where I just dug into like my roots. I wanted it to sound like I wanted to play guitar, you know, like I was ready to play guitar. I remember I did a demo of Drifted and you tried to help me mix it, but it wasn't working with this fake program drums. And I like those, but it wasn't working. It needed like an immediacy. It needed to feel like things were happening. So I think I got with Kyle. I read the Drifted is like just when I came up with that riff, I knew I was on to something, and I think everything else came like that. I was like, this needs to be harmony lead guitars, which was kind of like what Decapitator Blues started to be. Yeah. To me, this feels like a continuation of the Semis more than anything.
Well, Thin Lizzy.
It's very much that.
Yeah, it is a return to that. Let me ask you this. Is there another Florida record in the ether?
It's not even in the ether. It's just sitting around. Yes, there's a new song out now.
Oh, man. I'll tell you that it's going to be a fucking... this is where it happens.
You know, I've been sitting on it. I've been working with Kevin Steele, as you know, for the last 6 months, and I've kind of put it aside. But the thing that's happening now is that the Florida record stuff has been done for so long, that I don't know how to make that fret refresh again. So now I'm just writing more music, and I'm gonna have to whip that back around. So we made, we'll probably make a video and put out another song pretty soon. I'd say I have like 4 that are almost ready to be released. That are rocking.
That's what I was gonna ask. Are they rocking?
A couple of them are.
Nice. The world needs this.
A couple of them are for sure.
Unapologetic, unpolished Florida fucking hard rock.
Yeah, it is. It sounds good, and it scratches that itch, like it feels good. Scratch my back.
Which, can we talk about pants?
Yeah, you like the pants? Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get a look at these pants.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Can we bring the pants up on? Okay, we don't need to bring the pants
Bring
up.
them up.
So, I don't know if you know, but we had a great interview with Kevin Steele, gang, one of your early influencers. You mentioned him 3 times as one of the band, along with Scorpions, and he was right in there.
Dude, so me and Jim Stevens were in that band. They were called Seventh Alley when we were young, and we were opening for Entice and Rock's Gang, and we just fell into this world at being 17 in Tampa that was just like exactly what we wanted to do. And he reminded me of this time where we were playing at Club 19, and our manager was like, had a deal with like a monster truck company, and Christian, our drummer, had forgotten his cymbals in Temple Terrace, and the only way we could get home was me and Jim, 17 years old, drive this monster truck to Tampa, and we had the Rock's Gang cassette. And it was just like, I could picture us both going over the Courtney Campbell, listening to Too Cool for School, and just goosebumping, like it was just that weird where you just like feel electric.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were a band that was cool, and so all right, so I was playing the Greg Billings thing that he does every year. It's a charity thing, and Bobby Frisk plays and all that. It's really nice. And of course, Greg Billings' band back then, Stranger, they were killing it. But so I've played it a couple years ago, and I was wearing a Rock's Gang shirt, which Zoe found in New York. She was like, "Oh my God, there's a new Rock's Gang shirt," and it was like $80. I was like, "Give it!"
Yeah.
So I bought that in a few years ago, and I was just like, "This is gold." So I wore that, and somebody took a picture of me, and it got back to Kevin, and we met. A couple of times through that. We have a couple mutual friends, and so he invited me to his house, and he took me up to show me all his stage clothes and stuff, and it was just like a time warp, man.
Yeah,
it was amazing. His place is
That's
just like this gothic
Portal
castle
into the fucking 80s,
dude. But it's
he's a
like,
vampire.
well, it's not impossible.
I mean,
come on.
Yeah, no, you gotta go to his place. I mean, you gotta get
what's known needs not be spoken of.
Yeah, for sure. He's a badass. And anyway, he didn't know me, and I never met him back in the day. Well, I mean, we met like through a couple friends, and
typical behavior.
Invited me to come over to hang out. And so,
you have to invite him into your house, or he can't come in. So just remember that next time he drops by.
He's already been invited in, man.
Oh wait, you have to invite him in every time, or is it just
I think
one?
it's per time.
Wow.
I don't know the rule. I don't know the rules.
Dude, that's so funny. But so I got in a conversation with him because I knew all about the early music, and so I was like, "Hey, man, what about this song, this song?" I was like, "Who wrote that song?" And he's like, "I did." I said, "Was there a guitar around here?" Yeah. And there wasn't. And I'm like, "Well, how did you write the songs?" He's like, "Well, I would just sing them to a guitar player, and, they're all in my head." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So it just came around to like, "Well, you got any songs,
Sing one into my head.
Right. And instead of my head, he sang it into my phone.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, cool. And so he did that maybe 5 times. So let me back up. So I went to his house one time, and he told me about all this stuff, and I said, we should get together and record at my place.
Yeah.
So when I went back over there the other time, I brought like a hollow body to play along. So he would sing, I'd try to figure out the key, and then if I went to the change that was right, you could tell in his eyes, and if I went to the wrong one, you could tell in his eyes.
Yeah.
And then we got it. So I came out of there with like 5 voice memos of me and him just like scatting around.
Concepts. All right, cool sketches.
And I was like, then it dawned on me what was going on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have 5 songs and now I feel like they need, like, I can't just live on the phone.
I can't let them do that.
No. But it was a lot. I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. So I remember just calling Tanner almost right away. Cause I was like, because there was different. There was country, there was blues, there was rock, there was like punk stuff, and I needed somebody
Tanner is the big dream machine, man. He believes he'll be like, we can do all of it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, he was
just love that
perfect
about
partner in that, but it was an unexpected call from me, and I told him my situation. I said, "Can you come over tomorrow?" And I got 5 songs we need to do. And it was funny. And so he did. And I'm so thankful he came over to do it. And so we did 5 songs in one session. And we did our best interpretation of what this voice memo was doing. And Kevin had printed me out lyric sheets.
Oh, cool.
And Kevin's old school.
Yeah.
And so I had the lyrics in front of me and I sang and I made these demos. And most of those demos, the rhythm guitar is on the record of, One Thing Left to Do. And so I come over to his house again and he says, I have 5 more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. So same thing. And then I called Tanner again, who was unexpecting this phone call. And I was like, bro, I need you again. And so he came over the next day and we did 5 more and it worked out. It was like everything was happening very cosmically.
Yeah.
So like the thing about the Pants is that he's a very generous person. And he knows that I have a penchant for style and vintage clothing and a hunger for that kind of thing and a rock and roll aesthetic. And so like when he was showing me his stuff, it was like a museum, man. It was cool. And so he had offered me a few things from his collection. And here's the funny thing, and I'm going to call my wife out. She's not going to like it. So her second favorite band was Rock's Gang, and she was literally in the fan club, like the one you write to.
Wow, yeah.
Fucking awesome.
And they did their video shoot at the old Mahaffey Theater for Scratch My Back, and she was in the second row.
Hell yeah.
Probably 12 years old.
Damn right.
Yeah, and so one of the things that he has shared with me is the vest from that video shoot. So like, and the hat. And so as soon as I got home thinking I had like this stuff, the Kevin Steele garb, it just got yanked off of my head and off my body.
Oh,
that's mine and that's mine.
Yeah.
So, but it's wonderful because we both were, super fans. And so anyway, this is the first time I'm getting to know him. And I'm saying like, hey man, did you I used to open for your band. I know he didn't know that, but there was that old connection.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to honor the music. He wasn't looking to go back to sounding like Rock's Gang, but it's ironic because like Florida has pinched harmonics and
I mean, what a perfect time to do it.
Dude, perfect.
Yeah.
And the guitar player that I play with in Florida, I met through the guy in Luxury Maine, Jay. Jay moved to New York to work with Matt, who lives in Brooklyn most of the time and did live there full time. He bought a place in St. Pete, and when he came down, I just kind of hijacked him into Florida. But not to get ahead of myself, I made the record with Tanner.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm thinking of Jim Stevens. Like, I haven't talked to Jim for 20 years or whatever, at least. And we were so tight back in the day, and we played in 7th Alley. We opened for the Gang and all that stuff all the time. And I missed him. And so I wrote him. I was like, hey, would you play bass on one of these songs? He's like, I'm like, it's an old Rock's Gang song that he's remade into a blues song. It's just to like feel him out.
Yeah.
So I sent him that and he was so cool about it and recorded it there and sent it back to me, but I still hadn't seen him or nothing. And I got Scott Myers to play horns on one of the songs. I got Adam Turkle came in to sing backups. This guy, Steve Peak, who I never met until the show, played all the keyboards, and he would just send them back and forth. So, I fostered the record into this life, and it was a short span of time.
That's the beauty. I love when that happens.
And I think the Pants came from heightened sense of gratitude, maybe, that I was creating something.
Made something come to fruition.
Yeah, man.
Out of his mouth, man,
And
into
they're
a phone.
the baddest pants I've ever seen. And
Pants.
so it just started to come together. Now, I mixed it the way I can mix things. And we did it very quickly, and I didn't ask, I didn't ask for a whole lot of advice from you, but the usual amounts. But it was a rough and tumble sounding record.
Yeah.
And Brian Merrill ended up mastering it. But it was basically that. And now it's out, I think. And the best part about it was, I remember I did an acoustic show with Adam Turkel at Bayboro. And Kevin was a friend at this time, by now. And he came out to check it out. And it was weird to see Kevin in the daytime, right? Because, he's like should be nocturnal.
He's a vampire.
Right. And I was playing in a brewery singing my songs, and I, didn't feel super rock and roll on it. But I had the rough mixes.
Oh.
And he had not heard them.
Oh, nice.
And, he's a dude, right? So, I'm wanting him to like this, but no clue. But so I took him in the car, and my mom's just got a rocking sound system, Took him into the car, and I cranked it up, and we listened to, Snake Charmer.
Yeah.
And I could see his whole face change.
Oh, nice.
He felt the deal.
Yeah.
And it was just he was delighted at this.
It fucking sparked it.
Oh, man. And it sounded so good. And I thought, man, we did it. We did it. So I called Jim Stevens, and I was like, dude, you gotta be in this band. And, he was in. And then I roped Matt in. Matt's the guy in Florida. And Matt came up not listening. He's probably 10 years younger than me. He did not come up listening to rock. He didn't come up listening to 80s rock.
Yeah.
And we went over to Replay Guitars for something one day, and I put in the Rocksking demo. I was like, check this out. And I played him all the Rocksking hits, and I could tell Matt was excited about it. But he didn't know why I was doing it, And then on the way back, or on the way there, I was like, listen, you got to play this band with me. I also played him the new Kevin Steele record.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he got it. And on the way back, we called Kevin on the car phone. And I was like, I got the other guitar player for him. So the band ended up being me, Tanner, Matt, Jim Stevens, and Lee Pons. And there's another friend, Kevin. And, we played a show. And the show was great. And the band was super rock solid.
Yep.
And who knows what's next,
Excellent. Right.
Yeah.
Well, man, Billy Summer, it's a long book. It's rich and deep, and there's so much to investigate on this guy, from the bands to the albums and the shows and the streaming and HBO and this is what a fucking true, journey, doing the good work and staying to it and fucking just progressing, like you said earlier, man. I don't know. I fucking love it. Can't wait to see what's next.
Oh, man. Well, if you want to come back to my pad, I'm working on what's next, but I appreciate you guys having me out. You guys mean a lot to me. I've known Modular for such a long time, and he has been the key to my success.
Oh, man. As with many, and hopefully now a lot of you get to know this individual and their fucking journey, man. You can listen to the whole thing. You can listen to your life story.
Dude, no, if anyone if you have a thing where it shows you that they listen to the whole thing, let me know.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'm saying it's possible. He's lived a life that's almost documented through song and
scratched
music.
the surface.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. There's a lot more to it.
There is a lot. And check out my OnlyFans.
His OnlyFans.
Hashtag Dusty Loads.
Pants. It's about
and pants.
And you can check mine, hashtag Pierce to Oregon.
Oh,
Ooh.
You guys have a good one. Deep. Billy Summer.
Have a good
Woo!